Let's get to Dr. Nura Ibrahim. Of course, a lot of people would say we want the dry season farming. Looking at, the present realities, we want food, and we also do not want flood. So, but I want you to tell us what's the situation like in Jigawa State, and tell us in details what Jigawa State has been able to do. The Jigawa State government has been able to do to reduce the impact of flooding this year.
I think let me start by commending and appreciating the federal government through NEMA. NIMEF, NISA also, because they all send these predictions to us so that we can prepare against most likely what we're going to encounter as far as flooding issue is concerned. So looking at that, we looked at it. The state came up with the Flood State Preparedness Committee that cut across MDAs that are responsible for managing flooding. As rightly said by my friends and colleagues, the pastor and Idris, flooding, you just have to mitigate and then employ adaptation measures for you to get across. So looking at that, we formed that committee. We looked at our flood-prone areas. We look at areas that usually experience maybe flooding, not even as a result of the river flooding. Because Jigawa, we have two things. He rightly said, Jigawa is sitting on a wetland, and not only wetland, but flatland, mind you. We don't have gradient. So this is a big issue. We don't have gradient. So looking at that, the governor ensured that the state acquired these huge amphibious excavators for draining the river, for desilting, as you rightly said. And also, the state formed a technical flood committee for over 1 year in collaboration with the Hadejia Jama'ari River Basin Development. The MD of Hadejia Jama'ari River Basin is the chair, I am the co-chair, and then with various expert engineers and a lot of role within. So that we sit virtually once every month, and maybe we can call for any emergency sitting if need be. So this flood committee is always monitoring the river system, trying and see what we can do different, sending warning signs if there are any warning signs. For example, if there are any maybe possible discharges, because we have two major dams, Tiga and this Bagoda dam. And also have Chala Goji, all in Kano State, mind you. Because what usually happens during the when you have riverine flooding is that you have discharges from these dams that increase the water level. And he's rightly mentioned, Mr. Idris, that most of these are man-made because of the cost for people to farm, to irrigate their farmland. From the entry point of River Hadija, that's in Ringim local government, a location called Debi, to Zorio in Guri local government, where it exits, it entered into Yobe. We have, when we counted, I think by last month, we have more than 400 illegal river bank breakages, just to allow water reach their farmland. So what happened is that whenever you get increase in discharge from these dams or excessive runoffs from rain, those breakages, the water will go through those and flood the farmland, overtake the communities and what have you. That resulted in loss of farmland, loss of lives, properties, infrastructure, and other things. So what the state is doing at that level is that we are now sensitizing the communities. We have gone for advocacy to all the 5 units in Jigawa State, namely Hadejia, Gumel, Kazori, Ringim, and Duse, so that they can call people to order, so that they don't continue illegally breaking these river banks, because it's one of the major factors, one of the major man-made factors. One, as we said, for irrigation purpose, and second, for fishing. What they do is that they will break and they excavate land. Water will flood the area, and after the water has rescinded, then they will just go and
Pick the fishes.
harvest the fish. You have not done anything. All you need is just excavate. And you realize a villager will go and harvest 5 million, 6 million naira worth of fish in a year. So it becomes very, very difficult for us. And that's why now the state government is looking at coming out with legislation that will regulate all these man-made activities along the river banks, so that we'll be able at least to address this issue of river flooding. As he rightly said, this year, because we've done a great deal of work along that river bank, as for now, we have desilted more than 120 kilometers along the river Hadejia, and we are continuing. This year, the state is again acquiring 2 more amphibious excavators. So we have 4 at present, 2 from the state, 2 from Hadejia Mare. We are buying another 2 very soon. I think by next month they will arrive. We imported another 2. Then we want to have as many as like 6 to 10, so that we don't have issue of this desilting, so that the river as a natural phenomenon. As I said, Jigawa is on a flat land. When the water comes, as the water is moving, it will be dropping the sediments. So before you know it, it's already silted, and the water will flow its banks. The river will overflow its banks.
Great, great.
So